Hi everybody, I'm back with another video, and this video I wanted to give a perspective on Trump orders limited strike on Iran but then calls it off. So we see the Republicans are divided on his decision to halt the strike. We know you've seen this when Daddy Bush called strike on Kuwait. Then we seen when then George W. Bush calls the strike on I think it was on Iraq. I think it was the strike was on Iraq. Bin Laden, when he called that strike on Bin Laden, whatever country that was, in 2008 for the bombing of the Twin Towers, which Bin Laden was the one I understood that did it, but it was Osama bin Laden. It was Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden and the other one. Whatever. If you remember the war that started because of the Twin Towers. Bush called that strike. Now we see what it is 11 years later, 10 years later. Now it's a war on Iran for bombing some Chinese ships, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, we know Trump was totally against the strike on the 2008 bombing of Iraq. I don't know if I got it right as far as it being Iraq, but it was the one in 2008, 2009, due to the Twin Towers being brought down. But those two wars started. Now, Obama was in the seat. I think Obama, him and Hillary, I think they airstrike Syria or they brought down, what's the guy name? Let me cut this air on because it's hot. Who's that guy they bomb? The guy they pull out of the hole in the ground. I think that was Libya. So now Trump is in office, and now they're talking about doing airstrikes on Iran. And Trump apparently agreed to it. And then he tweeted 10 minutes before he halted it. And now he's getting a lot of criticism and whatever. Even with the criticism, we know Trump was against that Bush war. He said it shouldn't have happened, this and that. Now he's in the exact same position to do airstrikes on Iran for what they said Iran did, the way Bush did with the Twin Towers. And at 10 minutes Trump says no. So he says no. So, with all that said, basically what I'm saying is Trump was against that war with George Bush. Now he's in the exact same position with another war. And he said no to that one, and then he turned around and said no to this one. So, and And he said it was due to, let me read an article. President Trump on Thursday ordered the U.S. military to conduct a limited strike against Iran to retaliate. It's always about retaliating revenge for the downing of a Navy surveillance drone in Persian Gulf region. Okay. But he did call off the operation just an hour before it was to begin. The president change of course avoided, for now, what would have been the most significant escalation of hostilities between Washington and Tehran in decades. So, people are viewed as weak if they don't retaliate or revenge something. But the average person retaliate or revenge something done to them, whether it be in the legal, whether in the justice system, or your own blind justice. It's called for being dealt with judicially or whatever. But as a country, you're weak if you don't strike another country, killing many innocent people who knows nothing about what's going on in their government system. Now, there was every indication that the U.S. was about to launch a limited strike against Iranians' surface to air missile sites on Thursday evening, but the military stood down at the 11th hour. More than one source confirmed this to CBS News, including two sources within the Trump administration who were familiar with the president's decision. The sources said the plan was already underway when it was called off. The operation was halted just 1 hour before it was to begin, sources told CBS. So it was a go, and then it wasn't, one official said. Another said simply cold feet. I don't know if it's cold feet or citizens just tired of war. War and suffering. People are tired. And we're living in a paradigm now since 2012 where people just don't want war. People want peace. We don't know why the governments are want to war, but the people, the everyday people that just trying to live their best life are not trying to war with each other. Okay. Two sources told Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan on Friday that concerns expressed to the Trump administration by allies were at least one factor in the decision to call off the strike. Russia, China, and major European allies, including France, Germany, Britain, have tried to keep the nuclear deal with Iran, which Mr. Trump pulled the U.S. out of last year. Viable. They all favor a diplomatic resolution to the current crisis. So if you're looking for so who wants this war? Okay, so apparently Russia, China, major European allies such as France, Germany, and Britain, they are against the war. They wanted to keep the Iran deal that Obama put in place. Trump pulled out of the deal, but agree with them not to start this war. They want a diplomatic resolution to the current crisis. Okay, it says, we don't believe escalation would be in any party's interest. Escalation is what goes on in the lives of everyday people, working people. Escalation. People are riding along. They may have a tail light out, or they may be jaywalking. Or, perfect example, this young couple wanting the wife pregnant. Then they got the 1-year-old and the 4-year-old steals a 99-cent Barbie doll out of a Family Dollar or Dollar General store. I don't think she stole it. I don't think kids see in the eyes of stealing. She see the doll. She want the doll. She walks out with the doll. So it's up to the parents to notice what their children are doing and make sure that these kids, don't take things unintentionally. But to ride behind the mother, to ride and then jump out of the car, guns drawn, escalating the killing of the mother and the father for a 99-cent Barbie doll that a 4-year-old took. And insisting that she put a non-walking 1-year-old on the hot cement of Arizona heat and put the 1-year-old on the ground and can't walk, which would burn the child. So my thing is, everything is escalate. How you escalate the unintentional stealing of a 99-cent Barbie doll from a Family Dollar to killing, to the guns drawn and possible killing of the parent in front of the children at the place where they was taking the child to the daycare. Escalate. So they're here. Okay, Iran did this to some surveillance camera. But like Iran said, and I heard Iran say the drone was flying over them. So they shot it down, but they said it wasn't. It was in airspace. I don't know where it was, but either way it goes. Because they shoot down a surveillance camera, drone, whatever it was. You escalate to bombing and missile firing strikes. That's the same as escalating to shooting and gunning down a young girl, pregnant young girl, and her husband in front of, a pregnant young girl holding a 1-year-old and the father in front of a 4-year-old and unintentionally stole a 99-cent Barbie doll. To me, that young melanated family is the same as that surveillance drone. I guess it was a surveillance drone. They were watching somebody. They said it was surveillance. It was surface to air missile site for shooting down Navy surveillance drone. So the Barbie doll is the Navy surveillance drone. The pregnant mother and father and 1-year-old and 4-year-old is the Iranians. And the police would be the American government, would be the American military, whatever, that would gun down that would that would blow up this missile site, that will blow up the missile site in Iran. Because they took out the surveillance drone, which is the 99-cent Barbie doll. So how you handle that? You escalate to a massive retaliation that could possibly hurt innocent people that have no idea what's going on. If this girl drive up into their neighborhood to drop the child off at the babysitter, and all of a sudden all this gunpowder go down on this family in this car while everybody's in other shop. Some might get hit by stray bullets or whatever, don't know. But anyway, that's my perspective on this. I won't click on the video because they got these copyright things. Now, who said this? Then in the article, he says, in quotes, "We don't believe escalation would be in any party's interest, and continue to talk to the U.S. and our partners," as a spokesman for the UK, the Prime Minister, Theresa May, said Friday. So that's what she said Friday. According to the Reuters news agency, so the UK Prime Minister don't think escalation is appropriate for this. A surveillance camera, 99-cent Barbie doll. Germany's government also welcomed the decision not to strike Iran. Chancellor Angela Merkel spokesman Martha Field said, regarding President Trump, "I can say that there are numerous statements and indications that the American president would like to avoid a military confrontation, and we naturally welcome that." So Germany don't see the need to escalate. Then Iran has warned that it will breach the limit imposed by the 2015 nuclear agreement on its stockpile of enriched uranium next Thursday, unless those other global powers find a way to keep the deal in place by continuing to do business with the Islamic Republic. Now, my thing is this. America wants to do airstrikes on Iran for not holding up to, for breaching the limits imposed on the agreement that in 2015, the nuclear agreement 2015 that Obama put in place. But they back out at the same time. How you back out of an agreement, abandon an agreement, don't want nothing to do with the agreement, then go in and escalate a war on someone for not holding up the agreement that you don't want nothing to do with. So if I don't want nothing to do with agreement, and the person do something in the agreement that we once agreed that they wouldn't do, I wouldn't care, because I abandon the agreement. You can do what you want now. But that's what that looks like. So Iran warned that they're going to breach the limit imposed on it. So I guess the drone has nothing to do with the agreement. So they want to strike because of the surveillance drone. Now, these other countries, they agree. They still holding the agreement So Iran said, I'm going to push the limits on the agreement imposed, unless those other global powers found a way to keep the deal in place by continuing to do business. So you can't back out of agreement. I'm not going to do business with you. I'm backing out our agreement. And then wants to strike them for not staying true to agreement. That is no longer an agreement. So y'all back out of agreement, therefore I have no reason to keep the agreement with you. If you back out, say, well, okay, I'm putting sanctions on you. I'm not gonna do no business with you. I'm gonna stop all business with you, because regardless of agreement, we agree to do business. But I'm abandoning the agreement. I'm not doing no business. I'm not doing nothing with you. So Iran was like, okay, you're not doing business with me. Okay, I can stockpile my enriched uranium like I want. Oh no, you can't do that. We're gonna escalate. That makes absolutely no sense. To me, it makes no. Now, the article goes on to say, if they go over the enriched uranium limit as threatened, the diplomatic deal with those countries will officially unravel. Brennan notes that any U.S. military strike on Iran will make it harder for Tehran to back down on its enrichment threat. Okay, I want to enrich my uranium. You attack me, I have no reason to not enrich the uranium that I agree I wouldn't do, but you back out of the agreement. You're not doing any business with me. None of the stuff you agree to, you're not doing because you back out of it. So basically, you're free to do what you want, right? The other people, apparently, I guess that's where they messed up at. The other countries want them to hold to the agreement, but the United States is putting sanctions on them. Complicated. The New York Times first reported that Mr. Trump approved the strike and then pulled back before it was carried out. Now, the Pentagon announced early on Thursday that the U.S. drone flying above international waters in the Strait of Hormuz had been shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile system on Wednesday night. The Trump administration denounced the downing as an unprovoked attack, while the government in Tehran accused the U.S. of being the aggressor and said the drone was flying in Iranian airspace. So, if the drone is in, why would Iran go into international airspace and take down a drone when they say it's in their airspace? Well, U.S. says it's unprovoked. Iran said you're in our airspace. And that's like, to me, in school, I would compare that to a bully and the victim being bullied. Well, the victim being bullied is told, this is okay. Let's say in the cafeteria, this area is for the cool people. So it tells the victim that's being bullied, you're not allowed in this space at all. You only allowed over there with with those who we consider the uncool. So if I ever see you in this space, then I'm gonna beat you to a pulp. So what the victim being bullied does, stay in their little deemed unpopular space. Stay there all the time. They don't leave. All of a sudden, one of the cool ones come over into the uncool space and attack them, bully them, do whatever bullies do. And those in the uncool space takes out the bully that come in their space and start with them. So the uncool one is taken out. He goes back to the cool spot. Now the one's cool are mad. Oh, you came into our space and beat up one of our cool people. Now we got to escalate. We got to retaliate. But no, he came over here and start with me. And start with us. Attacked us first. So we defended ourselves. No, you came over here. Not only, I guess if you draw blood or what, all the blood is over in the uncool spot where he got his butt beat. But the cool section say, no, you came over into the cool section and beat him up. No, there's no blood there now, or showing that he was beat up there. No, this is just a scenario of looking at it. Iranians, I don't know if they were bullied or not or whatever, but the Iranians said that the surveillance drone was in their airspace. U.S. says you were in the international airspace. We were in the international airspace. So, therefore, we're going to retaliate against you for taking down our drone in our air, in the international airspace where everybody is allowed to be. Everybody is allowed to be in here and watch you, but you're not allowed in our personal space, and we're not allowed in your personal space, but we're not going to your personal space. But there's a space everybody is allowed to be. But as Iranians say, U.S. was in their airspace. U.S. said they were not. So Iran took down the drone. The U.S. said we're going to strike. But Trump backed out. So, while the government in Tehran accused the U.S. of being the aggressor, they said the drone was flying in their airspace. Now, Iran stuck to its line on Friday morning, claiming indisputable evidence that the U.S. spy drone had violated its airspace. Now, Iran said they got undisputable evidence. And the undisputable evidence would be the blood from the cool, popular person that's actually in the uncool section, not the space where cool and uncool can be, but the actual uncool space is where his body fluids are. It's the irrefutable evidence. So that would be the how I would see that. Now, a commander from the Iran's Revolutionary Guards, which the U.S. accuses of attacking a drone, claimed on Friday that his forces decided not to shoot down a manned U.S. spy plane that had accompanied the drone. So they didn't shoot down the plane that had a man on it, that was manned, but they shot down the drone that caused no human life to a spy. Now, Iran's state-run Tasnim news agency quoted Amarillo, head of the Guard's aerospace division, as saying there was also an American P-8 plane with 35 people on board. This plane also entered our airspace, and we could have shot it down, but we did not. The P-8 Poison is a surveillance and attack aircraft flown by the U.S. Navy often in conjunction with the Navy's version of an American drone that was shot down by Iran. Now, the U.S. military has said no American aircraft entered the Iranian airspace at all on the day the missile hit the drone. There was no immediate U.S. military comment on the claim that poison was flying.
Poseidon.
A Poseidon was flying Mr. Global Hawk shot down this week. Deputy Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas told the Swiss ambassador, whose country represents U.S. interests in Iran, that Tehran had collected wreckage from the Global Hawk from Iran's territorial waters. He said Iranians would present its evidence to the UN. And I guess this is the evidence. On Friday, Iran's state-run television showed video of what the regime claimed were pieces from the downed drone. CBS News could not immediately identify the debris as parts of a Global Hawk drone. An explosives expert with specialist knowledge of military drones told CBS News, however, that the fragments shown by Iran could well be from a drone and that some of the debris bears markings indicative of an explosion. Although the president suggested the drone had been shot down by mistake, he nevertheless warned that the U.S. will respond to any belligerent moves by Tehran. This country will not stand for it, Mr. Trump told reporters at the White House before convening an emergency meeting with Republicans and Democratic leaders in Congress. Home Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who met with the president, urged him to obtain congressional authorization to use any kind of military force. She said she couldn't predict whether the president would consult Congress before taking military action, but did note that lawmakers had the opportunity to share their thoughts with the administration Thursday. She also said the president told them they would have more meetings about the issue. Now, the discussion on Thursday within the Trump administration on whether to take retaliatory military action represents the latest flashpoint in nearly 40 years of geopolitical enmity between both countries that began after the U.S. allied monarchy was overthrown during the Iranian Revolution in 1979. The strained relationship entered a
Détente.
entered a détente of sorts under the Obama administration, which allied with European countries to broker a landmark deal with Iran to reduce its medium-enriched uranium stockpile in exchange for lifting of economic sanctions, but it has worsened since Mr. Trump took office. Although America's European allies are abiding by it, Mr. Trump withdrew the U.S. from the agreement, dubbed the Iran nuclear deal in May 2008, deriding it as a one-sided deal. He has also imposed crippling sanctions on Iran. Mounting tension in recent weeks had raised fears that a full-blown conflict could ensue between the countries as hardliners in both Tehran and Washington escalate their rhetoric. Earlier in this month, the Trump administration accused the Iranian government of attacking two oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman, a vital waterway near the Arabian Peninsula for international oil shipments. Officials said U.S. intelligence suggested the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, an elite military unit which answers directly to supreme leaders.
Ayatollah Ali Khamenei
Was behind the attacks. I'll let that do the talking for me because I ain't even trying to pronounce that word. But anyway, that's just my perspective on the Trump orders limited strike on Iran, but then calls it off. I think Trump called it off. I don't know what he thinks, but from looking at it from a higher perspective, Trump was totally against the attack on the country where the government was, where the country that Bush attacked for bringing down the Twin Towers. Trump was totally against that. He talked about it in his run for election. He was very much against it, and now he's in the exact same situation that Bush was in when he made the decision to do the airstrike. Trump, an hour before, 11th hour, 10 minutes till, said no. He halted the strike. He did not go with it. So that's my perspective on this topic. And I will see you on the next video.